Your crochet mama. Welcome to my live stream. Tonight I'll be working on my Ridgy Didge blanket, and I'm past the swatch stage. I'm past all the measuring and figuring out stage, and now I'm just on the busy work stage, which is just going to be crocheting. I think I said um, 23 repeats of this. Is the paid version of your patterns more in-depth? No, the paid and the free patterns are the same. I don't know why anyone would do that, like make the pattern different if you pay for it. No, they're the same. It's it just, I have video that will help you. Just do what the pattern says and don't overthink. And if you need my help, post a photo in my Facebook group or email me a photo and I'll help you. Hi Amanda, you've been watching my old streams. That's so fun. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just went on there and did a bunch of updating and put thumbnails and some organizing. My YouTube channel is kind of a mess. Yeah, but when like when you all email me or you post comments and say, I'm so confused, does anybody else have this problem? Like, I don't know what problem you're having. Or I like, I need to see your work. And when people, like, they screenshot the pattern or they send me the copy of the pattern back to me, like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, I know what it says. What I need to know is what you think it says so I can help you fix whatever it is you're misunderstanding. But if you convince yourself that the pattern is incorrect, you're going to struggle. So if it just becomes like a battle of like, this can't be right, the pattern's wrong, I can't help you, because you just think the pattern's wrong and you want to fight with me. So I can't do that. If you're stuck, post a photo somewhere in one of these many places that I show up, post a photo and ask your question. Okay. And if you're frustrated and you want to be mean, like, take a breath, go have a cup of coffee or something, put your work down, breathe for a little bit, and then come back and ask your question. Because I don't like being like the receptacle of like all the frustration. Like, I get it. Yeah. I know. I get that you all get confused and you don't like reading patterns, and some people don't like the way I do stitch counts, or people don't like the way I've done it, but that's, it is what it is. That's how I do it. I'm not everybody else. I'm unique. And sometimes that means uniquely bad, but I'm going to stand by my uniqueness. I really like these teas. This one's, I don't like this one as much as the citron and ginger. This is the ginger and honey, but it's those ones that come in the jar that you get at the Korean market. They're delicious. You have to use the pattern. The video, that's another thing that people do, is they try to just do it from the video and they end up confused. The video is not the pattern. The pattern will tell you everything and the video will help you. So you should read the pattern, read the entire thing from start to finish, because sometimes then I get these questions and people say, I don't understand what this means, but it was explained in the beginning of the pattern, but you all just skip all that stuff and then just go right to the pattern and just start there. And all that stuff is in the beginning of the pattern to help you. So make sure you read. If I were going to teach a course on how to read crochet patterns, the first thing I would teach the first lesson would be read the entire pattern. Would be step 1. Read the whole pattern from start to finish. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get started. I'm going to put TikTok up here. And then if you prefer the landscape view, you'll have to go over to my YouTube or my Facebook group, and you can get a different view over there. If you like the engagement, then TikTok might be the place for you because it's usually the most engaged audience. But either way, let's see. Let me check and see how that looks. Okay, let's see. Plopperfish Crochet says, I also got confused, but after watching the video and rereading the pattern makes sense. Yes, it does. Thank you. Hello, Andre. Okay, let's see. The hook I'm using is the now defunct Furls Odyssey crochet hook. Sadly, they're not making them anymore. I think that must be as big as it can get. The size of the hook is I, which is a 5mm. The yarn that I'm using is the Lion brand Respun. It's set up in a bonus bundle. This color is called Heliotrope. This color is, in my opinion, misnamed as, hold on. Oh, this camera is not where it should be. Oh boy. It's because I had to mess around last week. There we go. After the live. Okay, so there's that. Heliotrope. This one's called Cranberry, even though we all think it's something like coral. Fjord is the name of this one. Deep Denim. Sahara. And Amber. 6 colors are what I chose for this one. And then I think I'm going to do another like more in-depth video about measuring the swatch, because a couple people that are crocheting along with me are asking questions about how to figure out how long their blanket needs to be. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to move my chair. Hey, Outlaw Crochet. This Respun yarn is recycled. It's made from recycled materials. 100% recycled polyester. Oh, and then the other thing I'm doing is I'm using the scented stitches. I'm using the scent Cheer. Amanda, it is splitty. It does split, in my opinion. It's a little splitty. But, yeah, see that? I don't think that the colors are super accurate on TikTok. I think they're more accurate over on YouTube. The Cranberry is looking a little too bright orange, and this Fjord looks green on TikTok, and it's really more blue. It's more of like a turquoise. How have you been, Andrew? So this blanket is pretty much the same as the regular 6-day kid blanket. It just has color changes and a textured row on row 6. Oh, you got your pattern listed. You know, I looked it over and I never, I'm sorry, I never responded. I had my daughter here and I did take a look at it. Sorry, I never wrote back to you. But congratulations on getting your pattern up there. Where did you end up listing it? On Ravelry. Good for you. Okay, next I would say start a blog on WordPress and do a monetized blog. Start getting the traffic. Start writing articles and get some traffic going over there and get yourself monetized. Make sure you post it in my group too. Yeah, but if you do, I mean, WordPress is complicated, but you can get somebody to help you get it started. If you use one of the other sites, you're not going to be able to monetize. But you got it up there. That's a really good start. How's it been? How's the how has it been received for? What's your Ravelry username? Let's go check it out. Blogger. I think Blogger is the same as WordPress, but I think Blogger would be fine. Definitely think you can monetize Blogger. Just do a little research. Andrew Crochets. Okay, let's go find that. All right, everyone go find Andrew Crochets over on Ravelry. Do you have a YouTube also? Oh, look at that sweet and sassy ruffled skirt. Congratulations. This looks really nice. It's adorable. Okay, so we're all going over to Andrew Crochet's. See, I'm gonna put the link in my live. What's your YouTube? Congrats. There I am. There you go. Oh, well, hopefully that gets some eyes on your pattern. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm sorry I didn't engage with looking it over and giving you some feedback. My daughter was here and she's not coming for Christmas, so this was last week. She was here for, I picked her up on Sunday and I dropped her off on Friday. And she was supposed to stay a couple days longer than she did. So I've been a little bit sad about that I didn't get. I've been sad that she's not going to be here for Christmas because she usually comes down to the beach for Christmas and we just kind of hang out and relax, and it's lovely. But she couldn't really do that this year. She's working, and she couldn't stay as long as we had planned. So both those things were kind of sad. But so we did our Christmas last week. And I dropped her off on Friday, and I stayed overnight in Baltimore because we got a really late start getting out of here, and there was no way I was getting back. I probably could have done it, but I don't think it would have really been good for me to do it. So I got back yesterday, and I actually got back right as it was getting dark. So, driving in the dark is never fun. I got back here before it got dark, and I snoozed for a little bit, and woke up and watched some TV on I got this new TV. My TV died and I got a new one, and it's 65 inches. And it's one of those QLED TVs, and I don't really even know what that means, but all I know is that the picture is really great. And I have a lot of windows in my living room where the TV is, and they, when the sun is shining and the reflections come in, it's hard to see the TV. And all of that is like, there's no reflections on the TV. It's like the picture is really great. And it has voice control, so I can talk to it, which is like good and bad, because like already there's stuff showing up in my suggested for you in my Amazon shopping cart. They do that. Alexa listens to you, and then they have suggestions for stuff you're going to buy, and you can tell from the suggestions that she's listened into your conversation. But anyways, my new TV is really nice. So I came home last night. I took a little nap. I vegged in front of the TV for a little while, and I actually did some work on my YouTube channel, and I've just been kind of resetting today. Tomorrow's Monday, and all that good stuff. I had some other work things that were like dangling out there during the week too that I kind of let slide because I just did not want to give up a single minute with my daughter. And we don't even really do much when she comes. We just hang out, we watch TV, we eat, we work on little projects. Like I bought a bunch of junk journaling stuff and we did that. And she likes to cook Japanese food, so we made Japanese food. She likes when I cook for her, so she asked me to make broccoli and cheddar soup. So I made a big batch of broccoli cheddar soup, and that's pretty much what we ate all week. And she likes my chicken soup. She likes my chicken broth, which is really weird, but she likes my chicken soup and my chicken broth. So I made a big batch of chicken broth, and then I made some of it into chicken soup. And she took all that home with her. I didn't even crochet that much when she was here because I had this project going, and I'm only doing it on lives. So there were a bunch of times I thought, oh, I could just go grab that Ridgy Didge and work on that. But no, I can't work on this because I have to work on it during a live. Oops. I heard a weird sound that sounded like water leaking. I was real worried about getting home before this storm hit, but it just really hasn't been all that big of a deal so far. Hi, thanks for following. Andrew, did you have testers work your pattern for you? And how'd they do? How was that process for you? Well, that's great. Ooh, I'm getting a lot more of the ginger flavor now. This is row 3, by the way. Well, Wanda, I saw your question before, but it's not a stitch, it's a pattern. Well, I can tell when people say what stitch that they're a beginner, because not everything that's made consists of one single stitch over and over. But this is the 6-day Ridgy Didge blanket, and it's on the title of the live. Not everything is just one stitch for a whole project. That's how you learn. But even though this has different rows of different stitches, it's actually a fairly easy pattern. If you want to learn it, the easiest one to start with is the 6-day star blanket. I don't know what happened, but thank you. Oh, my little carnivorous plants came in the mail. They are so cute. There's like a teeny tiny Venus flytrap and a couple of different pitcher plants. And they're teeny tiny. They're like so little. They're really cute. I don't know if they've eaten any bugs yet. I've seen a couple of bugs on the plants, but I don't know if the plants have actually eaten the bugs yet or not. Still bugs flying around here. I want to bring one of the plants into this room, but I'm afraid it might not get enough light. It might get forgotten about. I think the Venus, when it catches something, stays closed for a while. Yeah, when it arrived, they were all closed, and then they some of them opened up, and some of them closed, stayed closed, or I don't know, opened and closed. I don't really know. My daughter was totally fascinated with them. I'm just worried about keeping them alive long enough for them to eat some bugs. I mean, I could go ahead and put hydrogen peroxide on the plants, but last year when I did that, I lost a couple of the plants. I have a pretty good idea which plants are the offenders, because I didn't have any bugs until I brought the plants in from outside. I had them really bad last year because I think I had an infected bag of potting soil, and I like repotted a bunch of plants, and I brought them all inside, and there were like bugs everywhere. So many of them. I had like the glasses of wine under the lights and stuff. And then they'd be gone for a while, and then they would come back, and I would be like, what is going on? I was cleaning out my garbage disposal. I thought they were coming from that. I didn't know they came from your plants. And then somebody said, oh, those are fungus gnats. Those are from your plants. And you have to put hydrogen peroxide on the plants to get rid of them. So I did all that. I did get rid of them. But I killed a couple plants in the process. You can tell I haven't been crocheting. My thumb is like, the heck? Taught yourself how to crochet but still learning? It's a wonderful hobby. It's been a year. Aw. There's no rush. I've never made a blanket, need to make one. Well, I would suggest the 6-Day Star as a first blanket. I love yarn too. I love yarn. Oh, the 6-Day Star blanket. It's one of my designs. Super easy, like trending pattern, viral pattern. Have you already planned out the color sequence or just winging it? I planned it out. I did. So for the 6-day blankets, I will plan out the color sequences and the stripes in advance. And since this is basically a sample for, the pattern design, I'm, being very deliberate about it. But what I recommend people do is to make a swatch. So make 2 points of the blanket using the yarn that they want to use and find the right hook size. So the right hook size may or may not be the yarn on the label, the one that the yarn label recommends. So you'll want the one that gives you, the drape that you want and the tension that you want that's right for you and your hand and how you work. Creates a fabric that you want to make, and then measure that out. And also, when you make a 6-day blanket, there are a bunch of different ways to stripe it, and there's like infinite different ways to make it. So I've changed colors between row 5 and 6, but the original blanket had these 4 colors and then these 2 separate, these 4 rows, and then these 2. And then, so when you make it the original way, it looks totally different than when you change colors in between, like the 2 granny rows, or in different, there's like all these different ways to do it. So what I tell people to do is to do a swatch, practice take the colors that they think they want to put together and do like a little practice run with your swatch, practice your colors, practice your stripe, and also learn the stitches, because it's not really difficult, but it has a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning. The setup row 2, it can be a little tricky, but once you get it going, you're good. But it's just a lot less frustrating to work on a small little sample swatch than if you just go ahead and chain at 200 and whatever, and then get to the end of the second row and realize you've done something wrong, and it can be really frustrating. So okay, I'm just gonna get out of my seat for just a sec. I'll be right back. These are all too much. Just need to use the restroom real quick. Did I make it to the end of the row? Yes, I did. Okay, what row am I on now? Row 4. As Amanda asked, do you plan out the color sequence or just wing as you go? Yeah, so this one's planned. And for this one, I had... Did I chain one already? I did. Okay, row 4. Single crochet, skip 1. There's a skip 1 after the first and before the last stitch of the row on rows 4 and 7. So I knew I wanted to use the Respun for this project. I had never used it, so I just wanted to try something different. So I ordered like 11 of the colors. You saved my video. Okay. I have lots of video on my YouTube channel too. This will be, the replay will be saved over there. So you can always go back and you can, I'm doing the entire blanket on video. So you can do the entire thing with me. I go all the way back to the beginning and I explain everything that I already said about the swatch. And I think I need to make another video about measuring the swatch, which I will do soon. Andrew's over on YouTube too. All right. Everybody on YouTube or anywhere should follow Andrew Crochets and go check out their new video over on their new pattern on Ravelry. Hi, Amanda. You just started Supernova Ridgy Didge? Nice. I mean, the jury's still out on the colors for me, actually, because I didn't swatch them. I swatched some of the colors, but I didn't swatch the ones that at the end, I ended up choosing the colors that I felt excited about. And then I just lined them all up. So will I feel excited about them when they're all together in one blanket? That I don't know. Really happy to hear you're enjoying the Supernova Ridgy Didge. It's been a Ridgy Didge year. It's the whole Ridgy Didge collection. Amanda, the blankets you posted in the McKnitiverse were wonderful. You are very prolific. Gifts for my, this is Amanda on YouTube says, thanks, gifts for my friend's new house. One for her and one for her daughter. Nice, now I can go back to my Ridgy Didge Supernova and finish it. Needed the other two done for Christmas, okay. I need to go all the way through the stitch counts and check them, because I think I only checked them so far in the pre-released version. So I have that on my list of things for this week. I figure I'll have a lot of time to work since I don't have much going on now that my daughter's been here. And I am going to go help out my friend when she has her baby. So I'm thinking that's going to happen sometime between Christmas and New Year's. We're just waiting for the baby to come. And then I'm going to go see her. So I'm just going to work, and get caught up on some of this stuff, because I know when I go help her with that baby, I'm going to be MIA again. So I'd like to get some stuff on autopilot if I can make it that far, at least caught up. Woohoo! The single crochet rows are fun. They go so fast. Oh, you're expecting in April? That's wonderful. Congratulations. Yeah, I have 2 children of my own and I have no grandchildren. And so I don't want to pressure them and be like, when are you going to give me grandchildren? Because I don't think that's right, to pressure somebody to like produce a human so that I can play with kids, here and there when I feel like it. Yeah, so I have a lot of younger friends because I was a dance major. I went to grad school later in life, and I was really in my 30s, wasn't really later in life, but was in my late 30s, early 40s. And I became close with a lot of the undergrads, and I'm still close with a lot of them. And they're younger than me. They're a little bit older than my own children, but not that much. And they all have kids, and I just pretend those kids are my grandkids. Amanda, have you decided to make anything for your new baby? You gonna crochet anything for them? Granny Star Stripe. I'm working on a 6-day star now. Aw. Oh, okay. Oh, well, you'll have to forgive me because I don't, for one, I'm really bad with names, but then I don't remember what I did from one day to the next. If you have a different username over there than you have here, I probably didn't even notice your username. I repost, when I see a, really nice blanket or something, I repost it for people. I just do that. It's number one, I am a lazy content creator. Okay. And that's easy to do. But also I just feel like it's just, it's just easy. It's just, it's just an easy thing to do and get eyes on people's stuff. Help people get eyes on their stuff. It costs me nothing, Yeah, but you'll have to forgive me if I don't remember you from one place to the next. Okay. So this is row 5, and row 5 is all double crochet. So one thing that makes the 6-day blanket kind of difficult to memorize is the ends. These ends, you skip a different number every time. So when you're on the granny cluster of granny, you skip 3, 1, 2, 3. When you're on the double crochet rows, you skip 2, 1, 2. And on the single crochet rows, you single crochet 1 and then you skip 1. So it's single, skip 1, double, skip 2, cluster of 3, skip 3 at the beginning of the rows. I think I forgot to cheer my finger when I... Amanda says, I'll post pics on socials once they are gifted. Yeah, you can't post on your social pages if they're gifts. Somebody today posted photos of a beautiful 6-day blanket that they made in Christmas colors to match I won't even say the relative, they're gifting it to somebody, and they did it to match their wallpaper, and it was just an absolutely gorgeous blanket. And also the photographs were just amazing and really beautiful, like with the Christmas tree in the background. And I was like, okay, those, I can just tell when I see a photo if it's going to get stolen. And stolen by the people that make the scraper sites and posted as, they steal photos. This is what they do. They steal photos out of my group, and then they post them in their own groups with those bit.ly links to their sites where they have, they do the same thing that I do to make money, which is that they have a monetized website. The only difference is when I send you to my monetized website, I tell you what you're going to find there. I don't tease you with a photo that I stole from somebody else and then send you to a page that has random crochet pattern links and a bunch of ads. And then you scroll up and down looking for the pattern that isn't there, right? On on my page, it's there. I say, go get the pattern for my page over here. And I provide it to you for free, and there you go. It's there. But these people, they take pictures of the really nice pictures of patterns. They post a link to a fake crochet site that, you know, has crochet on it, but doesn't have the thing that they posted. And then the caption on the photo or the post says, "Don't criticize me. Don't criticize my work. I am so shy. I was told I was worthless. So I'm ashamed of my work. Please don't criticize." And then, of course, all the comments are like, "Oh, it's beautiful. It's this, it's that." They're using fake AI photos now too, but sometimes they use photos from my group. And anyways, this person posted these photos today, and I know it's so dumb, but you know what they're doing? They don't care. They don't care about crochet. What they're doing is they're baiting your engagement. So when they have a bunch of people engaging with the photo and making a bunch of comments saying, "Oh, it's beautiful, it's this, it's that," or whatever, it boosts the algorithm, right? The algorithm sees that, and the algorithm, the almighty algorithm, is like, "Oh, this is good content. Let's show it to more people." And so they do that. And you know, and then people go over to their link, and the link is like, you know, and they make their money, and that's, woohoo, I fixed it. Yeah. So all that complaining that I did about the software, it wasn't the software at all. It was me. It was me leaving the I left the card, the memory card. You're not supposed to leave the memory card in the camera when you use your DSLR to go live like this. You're supposed to take it out. And all these years I've been taking it out. So it's just like all the people who get confused by my pattern and say it's the pattern that's wrong when it's not. It's them. This reading, I did the same exact thing. I was like, this software, I'm mad at them. I'm going to have to reach out to them. Yeah, well, I looked up a couple things online, and it was like the very first instruction was, don't leave your SD card in the camera. And I was like, oops, I think I did that. I think I'm leaving my SD card in the camera. So it was me. It was user error all along. Let that be a lesson to all of us. I deserved that with all the complaining that I do. Okay. Now the way I have this propped up here is kind of silly. So anyways, the scraper sites. This blanket is so beautiful, and the photos are so beautiful. I feel certain that we're going to see it on those scraper site posts. So I took those, downloaded those photos, and I watermarked them for the person who posted them, because I can just tell. I can just tell. And I used to take other people's photos, and I would put them as the heading, the header photo of my group. When someone posts, you know, when someone posted something really nice, like once a week, I would change the header for the group, and I would post that, you know, that person's photo. And I stopped doing that because those were the ones that were getting stolen the most. So but they're in my group. There's nothing I can do. I mean, I'm doing everything I can. I mean, who is it? She goes by Millie's Makes on Instagram. She posted a photo in my group a couple of years ago, and I just knew when I saw it. I was like, this photo is going to go viral. And it did. It definitely did, and it shows up all over the place on those sites all the time. Row 5 goes by pretty quickly too. You know what row doesn't go by quickly is row 6. The Ridgy Didge row. Because you have to do front post. I'm going to have to open up my pattern and check to see which color I want to do next, and I bet it's yellow. I bet it's the yellow. I bet it's the yellow. I hear that noise. It sounds like water dripping. It must be like right outside the window or something. So what's everybody working on tonight? Amanda's working on their 6-day star. Already thinking of a new skirt pattern. I have so many pattern ideas. It's ridiculous. Wisteria shawl. Okay. Sounds pretty. Thank you, Elderberry. They're not really accurate, though, I'm sorry to say, on TikTok. I don't know what the deal is with the lights in here. I'm using Ott lights. I don't know why my phone, if it's my phone or what. If you go over to my YouTube, the colors are way more accurate over there. Because this is not really green. This is more of a turquoise. They look very rich. Yeah, I do like the saturation of the colors of this yarn. It's the Lion brand Respun. I just wish they would have respun it a tiny bit tighter. It does split, but I'm kind of getting used to it. And I feel that's true with like any yarn and project that you do. You have to kind of get used to the feeling of the yarn. So I'm doing okay, but like when I first picked it up, I was like, oh man, I'm splitting a bunch. You're relearning crochet. It's a wonderful hobby. Bye, Andrew. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to complete this stitch because I'm going to change colors, but I'm going to give my hands a little break. Oops. Try not to get oil on my table. Andrew, read your messages. I don't know if I still have my, yes, I do. Do you mean this pattern? Looks difficult? She blocked you, so you're ignoring her on purpose. I mean, it's a little tricky to get started, but once you get it set up, it's not as hard as it looks. It's very smooth sailing after the setup row. But I have a lot of resources in my pattern, and I have a Facebook group with a ton of free resources. Got free resources on my website, have all these videos, and basically my entire business is teaching this pattern to people. I am doing a little self-care on my hands and arms because I crochet a lot. So I'm just taking a break. I've been at it for an hour and 18 minutes. This is a tool called a face blaster, and it's actually in my shop. You can purchase it through an affiliate link through me, and the fascia is the connective tissue between your muscles and like covering your bones and things, and this stimulates the lymphatic flow, and it keeps the fascia from like sticking together. So it's really good for, it's meant to be used on your face, but I use it on my hands. I actually have a bunch of these that I use all over my body. So this is just like some self-care for my hands. This is one thing that I do. And then of course I stretch too. I am very hypermobile, so if you're following me and you're stretching along with you, yeah, I did. You might not be able to bend back as far as I can, so don't you know, don't like bend your fingers all the way back thinking that's what you're supposed to do. Never go past a 7. Where did I learn what? About the fascia blaster or up the in my other life, I was a dance professional, a yoga teacher, and I'm a somatic therapist. So when I was in graduate school, I taught dance anatomy and kinesiology. And I taught yoga for several years before the pandemic. And I went through kind of a difficult time. I had some health issues and I had to stop teaching dance and yoga, and I started studying somatic psychotherapy. Yeah, so I just I blah 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 blah. I incorporate that into my crochet as like mindfulness practices, and also bodyful practices as well. Because this, even though this activity of crochet is like pretty sedentary, being sedentary and doing repetitive movements for long periods of time can actually be really bad for your body. It can be really hard on your hands and your neck and your back. So I kind of treat it like I treated my body when I was a dancer, like I want to keep dancing, I want to keep crocheting. So I take care of myself. I take care of my body. I take care of my hands. And also, like, mindfulness is a very important part of this to me. Fjord, Cranberry, Heliotrope, and then it says Sarah's. It means Sahara. I told you it was going to be yellow. Yay for yellow. Yay for cheerfulness. You definitely are. This year, I am going to write a book about somatic crochet, crocheting somatically and taking care of your mind, body, and spirit while you crochet. Okay, so this is how I change colors. I pull the new color through the last 2 loops of the last stitch in the row before the color change. So this is the last stitch of purple, and I'm going to pull the yellow through, and then I'm going to take these 2 tails. This is the end of the purple, and this is the beginning of the yellow, and this is my working yarn, and these are two tails, and I'm going to flip the tail up over, two tails up over the working yarn and hold it in the back. Okay, and then chain 3 to start my next row. 1, 2, 3, and it just holds them there so that they don't come loose. I don't tie any knots. I don't like them. I don't trust them. I don't like them. So I don't tie any knots unless it's an emergency. And by emergency, I mean that somebody has ripped the blanket or it caught on something and the yarn broke and there's nothing extra there to hold it back together. And so we have to tie a knot. That's the only time I would tie a knot. Okay, and this is row 6, which is the ridge row. So we're skipping 2, and then we're working the double, instead of double crochet, we're working front post double crochet. 8 of them to start the row. Ooh, now I'm feeling excited about the color. Purple and yellow together. Yes, thank you. Yes, please. So once a month, I hold a self-care meeting, and we for knitters and crocheters. Sorry, I hold the meeting over Zoom in my membership community, and we discuss different topics about crochet self-care. So I teach the stretching and the body, the stretches and the techniques, and that I, like some of which you just saw me use with the fascia blaster and the oil. And we also talk about different mindfulness things and techniques. We meditate, and people share, where they're at personally and what's up for them and what's going on with them in their lives and their crochet, how they are using that to cope. People in my membership community, that we have meetings almost every week, at least once a week. We have like craft and chat meetings, and we do crochet alongs together, and we do design stuff and different stuff. But within the community, the paid community, it's like part of our culture to talk about elevating our crochet. At the beginning of the year last year, we had a meeting to set intentions. I'm a graduate of DBT, Mindfulness is Keystone. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I practice core energetics and Laban movement analysis. And I'm also certified yoga and restorative yoga instructor. But some of the intentions that people set at the beginning of last year were things like people wanted to challenge themselves in different ways. They wanted to learn new things. They wanted to think of themselves as artists. And that felt really empowering. Oh, this really split on me, didn't it? So we had a lot of empowerment within the group this past year. People getting just more enjoyment out of crocheting. And then last month, the Artist's Way. Yep. Last month I did, and these were open to the public, but I did some meditation where we just set a timer and just crocheted or knitted for 2 rounds of 15 minutes. So it was a total of 30 minutes. Just holding a singular focal point of peace. And those were interesting meetings. I did like 4 of those. Well, that's a concept I'm exploring a little bit more. Last year I almost completed. I mean, I'm coming to the end of it. I'm almost done with all the requirements and classwork. I've done all the classwork, but I still have some requirements to complete. But I did an energy coaching, quantum success coach, energy coaching program, and I'll be, I've been bringing more and more energy work into the work that I do, both in crochet and in my somatic work. You're in PA. We're at in PA. I'm in North Carolina, but I'm from Pennsylvania. I have family there. All the stuff I do is online because where I live is so remote. So I'm not doing anything in person just yet, but I'd like to start. I live right by the beach. So I think when it gets warm in the springtime and there start to be more people around, I might advertise some in-person meetups just for, hanging out and crocheting or knitting. You have people in Charlotte, okay. It's not very close to here. I'm on the Outer Banks. So it's not close to anything. People always start asking me, North Carolina, are you close to this? Are you close to that? Nope. I'm not close to anything. I'm out here in the middle of the ocean. It is awesome, actually. It's really nice. It's very quiet here at this time of year, but I'm just loving the peace. I get to go visit the beach. I go out there almost every day. I mean, today it was yucky, so I didn't go, but it's right there. Some mornings I wake up and I make my coffee and I take my coffee out to the beach and I just sit in the sand and drink my coffee. I've never been to any of the beaches in South Carolina, actually. I've been to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is very similar to here. The way the beach is with the really long break. Sullivan Island. Yeah, I've never been there. Oh, I hear the wind and rain picking up. I'm excited about this yellow. How is everyone feeling about it? Especially next to the purple. Thanks for sharing the live. Oh, thank you for the hand heart. Yellow looks nice against the purple. Thank you, Amanda. Amanda and Amanda both commented. This is 3 stripes down. Well, I'm on my 3rd stripe. I only have 20 more to go. Just one more row, I know, right? Yeah, I hear the wind, but it must be, and the rain's coming down. It must be really hitting the front of the house. Maybe that's what I'm hearing back here. Just, it sounds like, you know, the sound of water dripping. We have like a slow drip. My house is built on pylons, so it, you know, will shake in the wind, but I don't really feel it right now. It might snow here. It's 63 degrees right now. I just saw when I went into the bathroom earlier. My little thing in the bathroom said 63 degrees. That's when you know it's about to storm really bad. That's what happened the other last week when I brought my daughter home. I came home and I was like, wow, it's like 60 I think it was 63 or 65 or something like that. I was like, can you believe that's the temperature? It got really warm all of a sudden. And then, you know, and the weather was pretty quiet. And then all of a sudden, storm hit, house was rattling. shaking insanely. My gosh. Yeah, the weather feels weird. It's definitely been a strange December for weather so far. November, too. I mean, last month I was outside sitting on the beach crocheting. 70-degree weather for a couple days. Oh, it is scary when the house, during a storm here, when the house, during a hurricane or something, when the house is like shaking, but they are built to withstand the hurricane. Up on the, I mean, people say your house is built on stilts, but we're not supposed to say stilts. I guess the local people don't like that. I'm trying to fit in because I am a North Carolinian now. I changed my driver's license and everything, my citizenship and everything, my statehood over to North Carolina. Oh yeah, y'all had those tornadoes. That was terrible. 6 people died, I heard. My daughter's friend was in Tennessee actually having surgery. And she was impacted by that. She was really scared. We're supposed to have coastal flooding and all of that. Okay, so on this row, even though we're doing front post, double crochet all the way across, the 3, I should have said this at the beginning of the row and I'm all the way at the end. The center double crochet go into the top of the stitch and not around the post. This blanket is pretty much the same as the regular 6-day blanket, with the exception of where you change color. So you change between 5 and 6. And you also do, instead of double crochet, you do front post double crochet. That's it. And I was going to alternate front post double crochet and back post double crochet so that the ridges would show up on different sides, but I didn't like the way it looked. So you got ridges on one side and not the other. I'm so happy I figured out my e-cam issue. Oh man. And it was me all along. I was the issue. I should have known. Did I do too many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. And then the last one goes into the top of the turning chain. and I work it into the chain. Yep. I mean, it's just, I'm just embarrassed because I constantly complain about, you know, it's very common when someone is struggling with a pattern that they will assume that it's the pattern that's wrong and not them. And that's exactly what I did with that software. It's usually not. It's usually not the pattern that's wrong. And I am not perfect. There are sometimes mistakes in in my patterns. People do find mistakes from time to time. It's not completely unheard of. I'm the problem, it's me. Yep. I'm the problem, it's me. But yeah, I was the problem with that software. I had the SD card in the camera the whole time. And that's not how it's supposed to go down. So it seems to be working just fine. What do you know? Okay, row 7, chain 1, single crochet, skip 1, single crochet all the way. There's nothing to do or think about except single crochet in every stitch, every single one, except for the second one and the second to the last one. As a quilter years ago, only God is perfect, always leave an oops in your work. I've heard that so many times. And I have heard the one where you have to let your soul escape. You have to leave a mistake because that's where your soul gets out. People purposely leave mistakes and stuff. I mean, I'm team fudge, so. But here's the thing about fudging versus frogging. If you're going to fudge, understand what went wrong so you can fix it properly. Don't just correct the stitch count and keep going. At least not with this pattern, because that might not solve your issue. Fudging would be you made a mistake and you're going to keep going anyways. Frogging would be ripping it back. Rip it, rip it, rip it. Sounds like ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. So people call it frogging. Frogging your work. And then there are always people that are like, oh, I couldn't leave that. I would have to rip it out. And then there are other people that are like, we all have this different tolerance level for mistakes. And my theory is that when you're really new to crochet, it hurts to have to rip back hours of work, to correct something. So the temptation is there to just fix it and keep going. But often when you're a beginner, you don't really know how to fix it. in a way that won't make the whole thing, you know, get messed up. Sometimes I see this when people make my patterns. They say, well, my stitch counts weren't right, so I just fixed it and kept going. Well, that will make the pattern not work later on. So that's why I say, if you're going to fix it and keep going, or fudge, which is, you know, leave the mistake there and keep going, understand what you did. Good night, Manda. Well, I know I have 20 more stripes after this, so my goal is to complete this blanket by the end of January, so I think I have lots of time. But I want to be, you know, kind of diligent about working on it over the next, you know, week or so, because I'm going to be out of town and I'm going to be MIA. Hey, Gregory Stitch, what is up? How are you, my friend? I will answer to both. People ask me all the time, which one, Beth or Betty? And I'm like, I'll answer to both. I'm always kind of surprised when people know my real name, though. I feel like, oh, they know the real me. What you working on these days? Now, if I remember correctly, we are not too far apart from each other in the real world geographically. Oh, goodness. Well, you should come. You're in Atlanta. Well, that's kind of far, but I'm on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. You should come see me sometime. Crochet on the beach for a couple days. Your anxiety will disappear. It's so quiet and peaceful out here right now. I just love it. It is very relaxing. Come on out. Yeah, I moved out here 2 years ago in an act of radical self-care. I used to come out here all the time. I used to come here to, you know, get away when I needed a break, when I needed, I mean, I've been coming down here for like 30 years. Amy said I saved the pattern so I can start it in January. Awesome. Yeah, all the replays are on my YouTube, so you can work right along with me. Can start all the way from the beginning. I started with the swatch, and I think I need to do another video about how to measure the swatch, but yeah, you can start it right from the beginning with me. West Coast native, always wanted to retire to the Outer Banks. Oh, I love the West Coast too. I was a military wife for 20, well, he was in the military for 18 years while I was married to him. And so I got to live. We started out in Norfolk, which is when I started coming down here. And that was more than, it's like 35 years ago at this point. that was when I started coming down here, was when he was stationed in Norfolk, and I used to come down here then. And just, we had our little 4-wheel drive truck, and we used to drive out onto the beach and on the 4x4 part of the beach, and just hang out there all day and then drive home. And then we with him, just with his different duty stations, and he went to school, and he was a pilot, and he did a bunch of different stuff. So I got to live in California twice. I got to live in Maryland twice. And I got to live in Hawaii for 3 years, which was incredible. I loved it there. And then he retired from the military and got a job in Washington, D.C. So we lived there for like 8 years, and then we split up, and I went to New York. And I was in New York for like 5 years, and now I'm here. But I love California. I can tell you, they dragged me kicking and screaming out of there. I did not want to leave. I loved it there so much. And we went back to Maryland, and then we went back to California, to a different part of Southern California, and I loved it there as well. And I was really happy there. Didn't want to leave. Loved the weather, loved the activities and the environment for my kids. I just loved it. And then we moved, and then we got to go to Hawaii. And man, let me tell you, that overshadowed anywhere we had ever lived. I absolutely loved it there. It was just the best time. I went to grad school. I made lifelong friends. I danced. Literally, I was a dance major, and I had a wonderful time in Hawaii. And this place kind of reminds me of Hawaii a little bit. Not the culture in any way, shape, or form, but just being on an island and being so close to the beach, and just the energy of this place and the way it makes me feel. And so when I was living in New York, and it was, the pandemic really changed a lot of things, and it changed the area where I was living, and my kids were living with me. My daughter moved away, and I just got to where I didn't want to be where I was anymore. And my daughter had gone through a difficult time, and I brought her down here to the Outer Banks, and for, to rest and recharge, which is something that I did. From time to time, I would come down here and I would recharge. And this was my, this was like my restoration place. This is where I came to, restore my soul. And I came down 2 years ago for my daughter. And we were walking on the beach, and I heard myself say, I feel happy here. And after all those years of like not having like a home base, and not knowing what home base was for me, or where I was going to end up, or where my kids were going to end up, or what was going to happen to me, just to hear those words come out of my mouth, I feel happy here. That's when I was like, this is it. This is home. Has to be, because I feel happy here. So now this is where I live, and I walk on the beach every day, and I have that energy shift every day of the ocean being just right here. Every day that I walk out there, the beach is different. I see different things. Some days I go out there and like the birds are really active, and they're like feeding, and they're diving in the water, and there's just like so many of them. And then other days I go out there and the dolphins are going by, and sometimes they're going by really slowly, and they're just like just slowly coming up, and I can just see them, just making their journey really slowly down the shoreline. And then other days, the waves are a little bit bigger, and they'll be like playing in the waves and diving into the waves and like body surfing in the waves and having fun. And that's really cool to see too. And one day I saw whales. I went out there, and in the distance, I could see the spout of a whale and then the back fin coming up. And I'm pretty sure it was humpbacks. I saw a bunch of them that day. A bunch of them. It was incredible. And I volunteer for the turtle conservation group, the sea turtles, and I haven't really got to do much for them, but I've learned a lot about the sea turtles that nest here and how to take care of them and what they need and what happens when they come up and nest and all kinds of stuff. I'm on the call list this winter for the they call it the stranding or cold stun. So sometimes they'll, like a dead or dying turtle will come up onto the beach, and it'll need help, or it'll just need to be like marked and buried. And we get the calls. I'm on the call list where they'll say we need somebody, like in my town to go check on a turtle. And there must be a ton of us just like out here waiting for those calls, because every time I call back, I'm like, I can go take care of the one. They're like, oh, we already have somebody. So I haven't even been able to go out and like, measure a dead turtle and send the, send the measurements back to the science team that tracks these things. But yeah, went and did all those trainings and learned a whole bunch of stuff about sea turtles. But it's just a lovely place to live, and I'm really lucky that my job is completely remote, and I can do everything that I, need to do to make money or whatever, from here, and I could be anywhere. The West Coast, you see whales all the time. We don't see them that often here, but I do see the dolphins a lot in the warmer weather. You see a lot of dolphins and the pelicans, like the pelicans flying like in formation, like really close to the water. Just to me, like when I see them flying like that, it's like that is the Outer Banks to me. Whenever I see that, I'm like, that's the Outer Banks right there, those pelicans flying along. Oh, and the shells. My first year here, I was fascinated with finding whelk shells. So I've collected a ton of them. And then I collected so many, I just stopped picking them up. But yeah, I have a lot of really nice ones. Uh, and they've some of them like have come to me in ways that just feel so meaningful. Like I had this friend that came to visit me, and she's from Jacksonville, Florida. So she was like, I need to be by the ocean. So I was just like, come, come, come right now. And so she came and she walked by the ocean every day, and she was collecting seashells, and she like wanted them for an art project. And she was like, I want a really big one, and I'm going to buy one online. I was like, don't buy one. You're like, I'll give you one of mine, And she said, no, no, no. I want one, you know, I want a special one. So I'm like, all right. Um, if I see a nice big one, I'll pick it up for you. So I was out on the beach one day shortly after she left, and I said, okay, the next big whelk shell that I find is for my friend. And I was just sitting out there crocheting, and I have picked up so many of these shells, like my eye is like tuned into them. Like I can just see them really far away. They kind of stick up and I can tell what they are. And I was just sitting there and the tide was going out and I saw this little bump in the sand, and I saw it kind of appear, and then the tide would go out a little bit more, and this little bump was like getting bigger and bigger as the tide was washing out. And I thought, that looks like that could be a shell. Let me go see. Let me go see what that is. And so I walk out there, and it is like the biggest whelk shell I've ever picked up, and it's like perfect. It's not broken, nothing, and it's like in perfect shape, and it just like showed up like right there in front of me. So I was like, all right. And I sent it to my friend. She was like, wow, this is really nice. I was like, yeah. Told myself the next one I found was for you. And that it just like appeared like magic. It was so cool. And then she a little while after she was here, a couple months later, she wrote a book of poems um that was inspired by her visit here. And it's called She Sleeps on the Water. So everybody should read that. It was a really beautiful little book of poems. It was inspired by her visit here on the Outer Banks. And then I think she took that shell and she did like a dance film with it, which I haven't seen yet. But yeah, this place is magic. In the zone for sure. That's what row 2 kind of feels like. I don't know. I could practically do this pattern in my sleep. Oops. Okay, I'm starting to feel good about the colors now. I really like this yellow. Finished first row of granny stitch. Nice. I'd really love to complete another stripe. I feel like that's really ambitious for how long have I been on? I've been on for over 2 hours. Oops. That, when I opened that, it splashed oil everywhere. So I have this oil in my shop as well, the lymphatic massage oil. And I probably learned about that oil when I had my surgeries. I don't really remember how I found out about it and started using it, but if you're going to use one of these fascia tools, then you need to have your skin oiled up. I'm just feeling a little like pain around my thumb here today. And then what I do, I don't have it in here anymore because I use it daily. What I use at night when I go to bed, I have one of those infrared heating pads that I have it rolled up in like a tube, and I put my hand in there, my wrist, arm, whatever, and I set it for 30 minutes. And I have those in my shop too, but I don't know if TikTok shop not everything came through on TikTok shop. So, just if you just follow the link to my Amazon affiliate store, you'll find all the products that I use from Amazon, and that I sell in my store. Um, and they're all things that I use to keep my hands healthy and help me crochet without pain, or deal with any pain that I might have from crocheting long periods of time. I think I'm going to try and do 2 more rows, and I'll be ending on a row 4. So here I go. This is row 3, and this is usually a pretty speedy row because you can work into those giant spaces. Yeah. Nice chatting. I tried to subscribe. If you really want like to engage with the somatic stuff, then I would join the membership community, which is the Betty McKnitiverse. I can put it in the chat. I think you would really like it. If you really like the mindfulness stuff that I was talking about, then I think you will enjoy that. And we actually have one of our meetings tomorrow morning. All right, well, it was good chatting with you. Take care. Whoops. 10 a.m. Eastern. And I alternate. The craft and chats, I do 2 of them a month, and I alternate AM and PM. So tomorrow is the AM one, and it's at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then the next one in 2 weeks will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. But I do stuff at different times. Cute. Yeah, give yourself a little Christmas present of a membership, a year of a membership community. I mean, that talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Absolutely. It's a wonderful group of people. It really is. Oh, okay. I'm doing this row, and I'm doing one more row because I'm starting to feel this tired now. I have to take just a little more care with this yarn. Like, I have to move my grip, and so that I can just go pull the hook through a little more carefully. And some people say there's no such thing as a yarn that splits. There's just a yarn and a hook that don't. match up. So I have heard advice like if you are finding yourself with yarn really splitting, then try an inline hook as opposed to a tapered hook. I mean, I don't really know if I'm buying that, but I really like my Furls Odyssey, so not really an option for me. But I guess some of the hooks, like the older style, is more tapered, and the newer one is more streamlined. So this is one of the newer ones. Uh-oh. Row 3. You are my favorite row. I really love row 3. Hey, Andrew, you're back. Did you check your messages? Why'd she block you? What's that all about? That's a joke, right? That's not for reals. Okay. All right, I get it. Kids always playing. Kids are always playing. No, that's for reals. That's for, you said that is for reals. Okay. Whoa. The heck is going on? Is it more drama in the crochet community? I can't imagine anyone blocking you, like, over what? You're so nice. Now that you're a pattern designer, people are going to be coming after you. Usually is childish. It usually is. Don't let it get to you. I'll tell you what, I guard my peace with my life. Okay, well, so the camera didn't come up on YouTube, so I'm going to end the live. That's long enough. Just trying to be superhuman over here. All right, thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Had some great conversation, and this replay will be live on my YouTube channel forevermore if you ever want to make this project right along with me. It'll be there for you. 6-day Ridgy Didge blanket.